The notification sound woke me up at 11:47 a.m. on a Thursday. Not an alarm, not a text, my bank app. I picked up my phone. The screen was too bright. I squinted at it. Wire transfer received. $10 million. I read it 3 times. Then I set the phone face down on the nightstand, and I stared at the ceiling for maybe 2 minutes. And the only thing I thought was, I need to pee. So I got up. I went to the bathroom. I peed. I washed my hands. I looked at myself in the mirror. Same face, same tired eyes, same small scar above my right eyebrow from when I was 12 and thought I could jump my bike over a garden hose. $10 million in my account. I looked exactly the same. I went to the kitchen, made coffee in the same Mr. Coffee machine I bought at Target in 2008 for $19.99. Stood there, watching it drip. The pot made that specific gurgling sound it makes when it's almost done. My refrigerator hummed. A car drove past outside. I poured the coffee, drank it black, burned my tongue. The microwave clock said 11:52 a.m. I owned $10 million. I felt nothing. Not happiness. Not relief. Not even that thing people describe in movies where the music swells and you finally understand what your life was for. Just nothing. Like I'd checked my email and there was nothing important. That was 4 years ago. I'm going to tell you what happened next. But first, I need to tell you about a Sunday in 1985. Because here's what nobody tells you about getting rich. The money doesn't fix you. It just makes you rich and broken instead of poor and broken. And at 2 a.m., when you can't sleep in the $11,000 bed you bought because a salesman told you it was engineered for optimal rest, you start doing math that doesn't make sense. I was 7 years old in 1985. It was a Sunday in April, or maybe May. I don't remember the exact date, but I remember the jacket. My mom made me bring a jacket, even though it was warm. One of those light nylon windbreakers that made a swishing sound when you moved your arms. My dad folded it and put it in the trunk of our brown Oldsmobile. The Oldsmobile smelled like old coffee and vinyl, and something I couldn't name then, but I know now. It smelled like my dad. 8 years of driving the same car. The smell gets into everything. We drove 40 minutes to my grandmother's house. Every Sunday, same drive, every single week. Her house had a front porch with wicker furniture that left marks on the back of your legs if you sat there too long. The backyard had a fence that was half wood, half chain link. The wood had rotted, and my grandpa replaced it with whatever he had in the garage. The yard sloped down toward pine trees. In the spring, the ground under those trees was covered in orange needles. Soft. You could walk barefoot. My grandmother made pot roast every Sunday. Every Sunday. Same meal. She cooked it in a blue enamel pot that was older than my dad. The kitchen smelled like beef and carrots and black pepper. Too much black pepper, the way grandmothers cook, where a little means half the container. The smell filled the whole house. You could smell it upstairs in the bathroom, where the sink dripped and someone had written their initials in a tile grout in 1967. We ate at 1 o'clock p.m., always 1 o'clock p.m., not 12:45, not 1:15, 1 o'clock p.m. My grandpa said grace, same grace every week, something about blessing this food to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. None of us really listened, but we all bowed our heads, and my grandma reached over in the middle of the prayer and straightened my collar without saying anything, and I remember thinking that was probably not allowed during grace, but nobody stopped her. The pot roast was good. I didn't know how good. I ate it like a 7-year-old eats, fast, mechanical, without paying attention. I probably complained about the carrots. I definitely pushed the potatoes around to make it look like I'd eaten more than I had. My dad told me to finish my plate. My mom told my dad I'd eaten enough. My grandma brought out a second bowl of potatoes nobody asked for. My grandpa told a story about a guy he worked with in 1956 who drove a DeSoto and kept a live chicken in the back seat. I don't remember why. I just remember we laughed. After lunch, my dad and grandpa went to the garage to fix the lawnmower. My mom and grandma stayed in the kitchen doing dishes. I went to the backyard. I found a stick. I don't know where, but it was a good stick, about 3 feet long, thin enough to swing, heavy enough to feel real. I fought wars with that stick. I was a soldier. Then I was a Jedi. Then I was just a kid in a sloped yard, under a sky so blue it looked fake. My grandma's house was at the top of the slope. I could hear my mom laughing in the kitchen. I could hear my dad's voice in the garage, muffled, steady, explaining something to my grandpa. Or maybe my grandpa was explaining something to him. I remember the smell of the pine needles. I remember the sound the stick made cutting through the air. I remember the light, late afternoon, golden, angled through the pine trees, the kind of light that makes everything look like it's already a memory, even while it's happening. I was 7 years old. I had no idea I was supposed to be paying attention. I had no idea that this regular, boring, normal Sunday, with the pot roast and the stick, and my parents 20 feet away, alive and married and not yet tired of each other. I had no idea this was the peak, that I was standing at the highest point of my life, and everything after was the long slide down. My grandma died in 1991. My grandpa sold the house in 1993, moved into a condo with no backyard. My parents divorced in 1998. My dad remarried someone I don't talk to. My mom lives in Arizona. We talk every few weeks. The conversations are fine and empty. I made $10 million in 2020. I worked for it. I built something. I sold it. I did everything right. I negotiated. I hired lawyers. I understood leverage. I won. And I would burn all of it. The entire 10 million, the house, the cars, the brokerage account, the tax-optimized portfolios, all of it. I would light it on fire right now for 1 more hour in that backyard. You can't buy it back. That's the thing about money. It buys freedom. It buys security. It buys options. What it doesn't buy is time backward. It doesn't buy a Sunday in 1985. It doesn't buy your grandmother's kitchen, or the sound of your mother's laugh before life made her careful, or the weight of a good stick when you're 7 and the whole world is a sloped yard and you don't know you're supposed to be memorizing it. I wake up at 2 a.m. now, 4 or 5 nights a week. I lie in the $11,000 bed and I do math. The pot roast cost maybe $12 to make. Gas to drive to my grandma's house, $5 round trip. The stick was free. The whole afternoon, lunch, the drive, the dishes, the lawnmower, the backyard, the wars, the light, the pine smell, my dad's voice, my mom's laugh, my grandma fixing my collar during prayer. All of it probably cost $17 in 1985 money. I have $10 million. I cannot buy it. I can't buy the pot roast because my grandma is dead. I can't buy my parents' marriage because it's over. I can't buy the backyard because someone else owns it now. And even if I bought the house, it wouldn't matter because the people who made it matter aren't there. I can't buy being 7. I can't buy not knowing what I know now. I can't buy the version of myself who stood in that yard with a stick and believed, without even thinking about it, that this was just a regular Sunday and there would be 10,000 more. That's what I bought with $10 million. I bought the knowledge that I can't buy what I want. I bought the 2 a.m. math. I bought the understanding that I spent my whole life spending something I didn't know I had a limited amount of. I was rich in time, in Sundays, in pot roasts and sticks and pine trees and the sound of my mother laughing in a kitchen 40 minutes away. I was rich and I didn't know it, so I spent it on homework, on TV, on being bored, on my entire 20s trying to become someone instead of being someone. I spent it like it was infinite. Now I have $10 million and a house and no debt and no boss and complete financial freedom. And I would trade all of it right now without hesitation for one more Sunday, one more pot roast, one more stick, one more hour with people I can't reach anymore, being the kind of rich I didn't know I was. The wire came through at 11:47 a.m. on a Thursday in March 4 years ago. I should have closed my phone. I should have driven to my mom's house and asked her what she remembered about the Sundays at Grandma's. I should have called my dad and asked him what was wrong with the lawnmower that day. I should have done anything except stand in my kitchen, drinking coffee, staring at a number, thinking I had won. I'm 41. I have $10 million. I wake up at 2 a.m. and I would trade it all for one Sunday in 1985. The Sunday I didn't know I was supposed to remember. The Sunday that cost $17. The Sunday I was rich and didn't know it.